Welcome back to Smith Coding and Design. This is the second tutorial in our Hylian shield tutorial series. Today what we're going to do is go ahead and set up our Op1 fixture and then get everything put in assembly and get our cam setups finished. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start. The first thing I'm going to do is just open up my Op1 fixture. So this is the mod Vises with a parametric stock. Again, you will be able to get this in the description below. So the first thing I want to do here is just go into the parameters and change our parametric stock to be 6 inches by 6 inches by 3/4 of an inch or 750 thousandths. We'll go ahead and click OK. So now all I need to do is drag in the Hylian shield. So I'm going to drag it up and out of the way. And then I am going to press enter. And now I'm going to orbit so that I can see the back of the shield. Press escape. And then I'm going to press J for joint. And then I'm going to joint the back of the shield to the center of the stock. So the shield again is essentially 1/2 of an inch thick. So we're going to start by going down 1/2 of an inch in Z. So that puts us flush with the top of our stock. And I want to go down another 50 thousandths just to make sure I have some material to clean off the top of the part in case there are any gouges or imperfections in our stock. I want enough material that I can face the top of the stock and get a nice surface finish. So then I'm going to go ahead and press OK. And I'm going to Control S for save. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to the plus sign for new design. I'm going to open it. I'm going to instantly Control S for save. And I'm going to name this the assembly. Now all that we need to do is go ahead and drag in our two Vise fixtures. So I'm going to start by dragging in our Op1 fixture. I'm going to press enter. And then I'm going to zoom out a little bit, drag in the soft jaw fixture, and then go ahead and move it over and press enter. Now you'll see the shield isn't there. All I need to do is come over here and make the shield visible. That way we can see it. And then I'm just going to go ahead, Control S for save. And now all we need to do is really just go into the manufacturing workspace and set up our cam setups for Op1 and Op2. So we're just going to go to manufacture. I'm going to right click on setups, new setup. I'm going to give this a name. I'm going to call it Shield Op1. Next thing I'm going to do is come here and choose stock. I'm going to say from solid, and all that I need to do now is go over here, expand the models, go into our Op1 fixture and find the parametric stock. Press OK. Or sorry, just click the stock. Don't press OK yet. Then go back to setup. And now I want to select the model. Again, I'm going to expand the Hylian shield. And this is important so that our from previous operation works properly when we go to Op2. I'm going to say expand and just click on the shield. So what I'm going to do next is click fixture and then go ahead and click on all of the parts of the vise, the jaws, the bar inserts for the jaws, and the modular bases. So that's good and done. The next thing I want to do is remember I'm going to keep the vices in this sort of horizontal fashion so that I have room to play with my Y travel, since my Y travel is I think 7.5 inches on the 770, and the stock itself is 6 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just click on choose box point. I'm going to choose the corner here, and then I want to make sure my X and my Y axes are pointed in the proper direction. So I'm going to go to choose or select the Z and X. I'm going to choose the Z, and don't be alarmed if your axis disappears, that's fine. The next thing I need to do is go ahead and choose X. All right, so it's right there. We'll go back to box point, select box point, and then I'm just going to click the tip of the Z arrow, and then Z is fine, but X and Y are sort of pointed opposite. So now we'll click the X arrow, and there you go. So now we have our axes pointed in the proper direction. So again, just choose the appropriate edge, and then you can always click on the tips of the arrow to make them point in the direction you so choose. So now we will click OK. And so that is it for our Op1 setup. So now what we need to do is come over, right click, and say New Setup. And this time we are going to use our Op2 setup. So we'll go and we'll name it. So we'll say Shield Op2. And again, I'm going to go to stock, and we need to make sure that that says from preceding setup, which it does by default, which is nice. And so now what we want to do is go ahead and choose our model. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and make the first setup invisible, and then I'm going to go ahead expand the first fixture invisible. I'm going to go ahead and expand and make the second setup visible. All right. So now what I want to do, again, come here, make the shield visible, just make our lives easier. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and select the model. Again, I want to expand the Hylian shield and just choose the shield component. And you'll see that now our WCS and our stock is over on our second Vise fixture. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and enable fixture, and then I'm going to go ahead and select the soft jaws and the modular bases. And finally, we are going to set up our WCS. So instead on origin here, instead of stock box, I'm going to choose selected point. I'm going to use the upper right hand corner of the fixed side jaw. And then what I want to do is simply go back here, and again, I always by default use select Z and X. So I'm going to click that. This edge is in the Z direction, this edge is in the X direction. Now I'm just going to go ahead and touch the tip of the Z arrow, and there you have it, guys. Our WCS is in the correct orientation. So I'm going to go ahead and press OK. And that's it. We now have our Op1 and Op2 setups complete. We can go ahead and toggle between them. So what I'll do here is I'll go ahead and give my setups a name, Op1, and I'll give this setup a name, Op2. And so that does it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. And in the next tutorial, we will actually get into the toolpaths for Op1, and you'll see why we used that circular patch. I hope that helps, guys. Please enjoy, and I will see you in the next tutorial.